Hey, I'm back with another project from my Creepy Crafts book. This time we're gonna do these necklaces. Okay, you're gonna wanna get yourself one of these little frames. I think they're just called epoxy pendants. Usually people fill them with epoxy resin, but today we're filling it with a Palmer clay. Or you could use an epoxy clay. Just make sure that you wear your gloves if you do. You're gonna wanna push your clay into your hole until it's level, and then get your box of eyeballs out and pick an eyeball out to squish into your frame, and then push all the squishy bits that squeezed out from underneath the eyeball with a ball tool. Next, make a little slug out of clay. This is gonna be the eyelid, so go ahead and squish your slug of clay around the top of your eye, and then smooth that seam out with your ball tool and your fingers. Actually, fingers work pretty good too. Now we can't forget the lower eyelid, so go ahead and squish that slug of clay onto the bottom of your eye and smooth those seams out. And then you're gonna want your eyelid to look more eyelidy. So I used a rubber wedge tool and just pushed the clay around the eye to give it more of a ledge. And then you're gonna wanna use a round tool for the tear duct. I think it's called a tear duct. Anyway, so once you've got your eye sculpted, you're gonna wanna bake it. If you're afraid that your eyeball is gonna melt, you can bake it at a little bit lower temperature, but honestly, the melting makes it look like cataracts and I kind of like it. So once your eyeball is baked and cooled, I wanted my eye to look a little bloodshot. So I mixed a clear gloss with red paint and then I painted around the eye. And then you can just go over top with the clear to make the eye look more glossy. Sometimes the clay likes to pop out of the frame depending on what clay you use. So if that happens, you can just glue it back in. Oh wait, am I making another eye? I sure am. This time I'm using a different frame and a different eye shape. See, you don't have to have exactly the same stuff that I do. Just use whatever you got. All right, we got another eyelid slug that we push around our eye, along with a bottom eyelid slug. Look, I'm doing both at the same time. I'm multitasking. And then just smoothing that seam out with my ball tool. Oh, but the ball tool leaves some dents, so I just smooth that out with my fingers. And then you can't forget the eyelid and a little more smoothing. Add that tear duct in. And yet a little more smoothing. There's a lot of smoothing happening on this one. And there she has one eye, but it's not tired enough looking. So let's make it bloodshot like the last one. And if you noticed, this frame has a little loop on the bottom. So guess what we're gonna add? Eyeball tassels. You gotta pick out the right color of tassel. We don't want it to clash with our eyeball. There we go, a nice blue one. And that's gonna complete this week's Creepy Craft project from my Creepy Crafts book. Links in my bio. Tune in next Friday for the last project. Look, I know there's another Friday in October, but it's Halloween. I'm not gonna work on Halloween, okay?